us to have a conversation. So thank you all so much for joining us for this conversation. I appreciate you. Yes, I do. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, and for those of you that are there on Facebook, I need you to go ahead and show me some love, share, click the notification bar, follow. Because sometimes you'll inbox me or you're right under one of the posts or under um one of the reels and you say, how can I know when you're on? How can I know when you're on? I'm like, because you have to follow. If you do not follow, Facebook's gonna tell you nothing. So you gotta follow, 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 follow. Follow, you know that song, follow, follow, I will follow Jesus. Yeah, follow, follow, follow Vessel Hope, right? So follow. And for those of you there that are on YouTube, I know you hear me now. And for those of you there that are on YouTube, click the like button and go ahead and click the notification bar so that you can know when we go live, see what's happening, what's going on, what's moving forth, right? And Vessel Hope. So we thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Today is a very interesting day in New York. I don't even know what the weather is like. In the kitchen, we were in the kitchen. She's getting ready to make some buns, y'all. So she was grating her coconut. And Mother P's like, it's hot. And I'm looking at Mother P, she's sweating. I'm like, yeah, it is kind of warm, but Mother P doesn't sweat, so you know it's hot. Apostle said, I'm fine. I'm over here drinking my coffee. I'm all right. I was like, yeah, it's kind of warm. I went upstairs, Prophetess Patricia, and I was freezing. I said, oh no. I had my ceiling fan on and my standing fan on. And then me being so smart, I want to open my window because I was like, oh, it's a nice chill breeze going on outside. So I open my window. I'm gonna get to what I get to, but we can't just jump into a conversation. We gotta get the preliminary out the way, right? So I open up my bedroom window and I'm sitting and I'm like, oh Lord, it's gotta go. So I turn off my fan right here. I said, let me sit. I said, I turned off my ceiling fan. I said, ooh, but I left my window open so the air can circulate. I was like, ooh, my hands started getting freezing. I was like, but I'm not mad about it because that means, right, that fall is making its way. So which is good for us who are not too fond of the heat. Sorry, Texas, the Texonian, sorry, Floridian, that you all have to deal with that heat, right? I'm sorry, but now New Yorkers, we're getting some good weather. It's moving in, right? So let's go on. So today we're going to talk about cross that bridge. Prophet Loretta, we're going to talk about cross that bridge. Prophet Loretta, that picture you sent me of Mama Loretta and that brunch. Listen, tell Mama Loretta, I hope she saved me a plate because that looked delicious. Makes me want breakfast for dinner, but I can't have breakfast for dinner because Mother P already cooked. And if you know Mother P, you dare not eat what she cooked for dinner and say, oh, I'm going to cook something else. Because we already told her last night, oh, Mother P cooked this. She's like, okay, I'm going to cook. She got up early cooking. She's good. So you dare not change your mind and say, I don't want that. So I'm going to eat what Mother P cooked for dinner. And then maybe tomorrow, Prophet Diaz, Apostle, and I will have breakfast for dinner, right? Because Mother P said, I cook a whole lot. So this is for today and tomorrow. She's like a mad loud. So don't ask me to cook nothing tomorrow. I'm like, I'll be all right. So let's go. So today, Prophet Diaz, we're gonna be talking about cross that bridge, right, Prophet Sharice? You may have heard the saying. I'm sure some of you have heard it. And there's 3 different ways that they say Prophet Sharice. 3 different ways. So you may have heard it said, "Don't burn the bridge you have to cross." That's the one I like to use. I like to say, "Don't burn that bridge you got to cross, man." Right? And then there's other saying that said, don't burn your bridges, right? Don't burn your bridges. And then finally, there's one that says, don't burn your bridges behind you. So whichever one you want to choose, whichever one you want to go by, it all basically means the same thing. The bridges that are behind you, don't burn them. Don't burn them, right? Because you may, as they say, you may have to cross it again. Basically, don't burn those bridges behind you because you may have to cross it. So be careful how you dissolve something. That's basically what it is, Prophet Loretta. Be careful how you dissolve something. Prophet Loretta said it was delicious. You should have seen Prophet Cherie's breakfast and lunch. I'm sure it was delicious. Yes, Prophet Loretta. Prophet Cherie sent me a picture. I saw it. Look, it does look good. So be again, when it talks about you crossing your bridges or don't burn your bridges or be careful of the bridges behind you, right? Or don't burn your bridges, as they say. It's basically be careful how you dissolve something, right? Mainly a relationship or a friendship, because you might see that person again, or worse, you might need that person's help again. or just help, period. So you have to be careful. I think that's mainly the reason why that saying kind of came forth, because a lot of people probably realize that, oh my gosh, I stopped talking to that person, I stopped dealing with that person, but now I need them. I need to call them for something. I need to call them to find out information. I need them to help me. I'm coming to their town or their state or their country. I need them to help me to try to figure something out, see how we're going to do that. So we have to be careful with the bridges, Prophetess Guy. Be careful with the bridges. Don't burn the bridges before you cross it. Yeah, see, Prophetess Guy heard it another way. All it is, be careful with those bridges of how you're going to burn them, right? But the whole thing is, it's about how you cross the bridge. That's it. It's about how you cross that bridge. How you're gonna be crossing it, whatever kind of bridge it is. Apostle talks about this. She'll share the story with me once in a while. When we have, if you're traveling from going to a different state and we're going over certain bridges, there's a bridge in Canada we don't like, and we're like, oh Lord Jesus, there's an air over there. If you go to like Erie, Pennsylvania area, there's some highways and bridges over there. Like, oh no, but Apostle like to tell the story. And her ex-husband, when they were driving, what state was it? They were driving somewhere, and there was this bridge. She said the bridge was high and it's shaking, and she couldn't wait to cross over that bridge, right? So there's certain bridges that's very shaky, right? There's certain bridges that's shaky. There's certain bridges that just smooth, and there's certain bridges that are like, oh Lord, I don't know. I don't even think I want to cross that bridge. I want to just stay where I am. So the whole thing is how you cross it. How you cross the bridge, right? There are many ways to cross bridges. There are many ways to cross bridges. I like the bridge in Canada. Prophet Loretta, get out of here, man. You always just gotta, gotta be all over the world, Prophet Loretta. Come on now. Which bridge did you take? Huh? Which bridge did you take in Canada? Which one did you take? The first time I went to Canada, the bridge, the one time we drove into Canada, the bridge that we took was, Apostle's like, oh my. She's like, oh my, I don't like, oh my. So we went back again. I told the GPS, let's do something different. So we went another way, right? Because first time we went we went through Niagara Falls, right? You're going through the Niagara Falls way, and we got stuck on that bridge. Apostle's not a big bridge person, right? So we got stuck and we were on that bridge for like 3-4 hours, So we're like, as God said, we're gaffing and we're trying to think. And Apostle's like, when are we gonna get on this bridge? And it took forever to get through, to get to customs and so on and so forth. So the second time we go around, I was like, okay, let's try to see, because when you go somewhere first time, you figure it out. You kind of figure out, okay, do I like this? Is this how it is? Then you're like, no, let's try another way. So the second go around, I was like, okay, you know what? Let's see what the GPS take us. So we try. I like the scenic route. Apostle's like, let's get to the highway, let's go. But I like scenic route. I like to go with, look at that. Oh, it's scary over here. Oh, it's nice over here. That's the kind of driving I like. I like that. So the second time we were going around, we didn't go Niagara Falls way. We went around the back way. So Apostle's like, when we think, Apostle's like, oh, I like this. I like this way. We don't have to go on that bridge. I like this way. Right? So sometimes there's some bridges you have to avoid, right? And the thing that I love about traveling and about GPS, you put it on. We have the Apple map. You put that on, it gives you 3 different ways. And I like to put in one without toll, right? Or one without bridge. I like one without toll and without bridges, right? So they always give me 2 with a toll and 1 without a toll, right? Or without bridges. So that's how I like to travel, right? So I'm always like, I'm gonna pick, even though the one without the toll and the bridge is longer, I like the scenic route. I'm not mad about it. I like to pick those. But then if you put on another GPS, put on Waze, or you put on Google GPS or whatever, they give you another way. So there's always many different ways that you can travel around. So sometimes you don't have to take certain bridges, right? Sometimes you could just take the road, or you take the highway, or you go wherever you want to go. So there's sometimes you can avoid some bridges, but then there's sometimes, right? You have to go on that bridge. Like the other day, Apostle and I were traveling. We have to go somewhere, and we're going, and I was like, I'm not trying to take that bridge, right? Verrazano Bridge. We don't like that bridge. So Apostle's like, let's not take that bridge. I was like, yeah, we're not taking bridges. Let's go this way, right? So we took another way. Any way you put it, it's the same hours it was going to take. So like, let's take this way. We're going to go through here. We're going to go that way. We're going to bounce. We didn't even have to take the George Washington Bridge. And I was like, we're skipping a lot of bridges. But on the way back, the only 2 options they gave us is either you take the Verrazano or you take the George Washington Bridge. So again, sometimes you can avoid some bridges, But then sometimes you have to go back on those bridges. Sometimes, not all the times. Sometimes you have to go back on those bridge, on that bridge or on those bridges. So again, so there are many ways to cross, right? Prophetess Guy, take the local or the express. Prophetess Guy, I'm a local girl. You hear me? I'm a local girl. If again, if Apostle and I have to go somewhere and put in it's somewhere around New York, and I'm like, and Apostle's like, okay, let's see how to get there, and I'm like, we're not taking a highway. We're gonna take the local roads, right? Because my thinking is with highways, when you're on it and there's traffic, you can't go nowhere. Well, the local road, I could always jump off. I could always make a right somewhere, a left somewhere, figure it out, right? So that's why I don't like highways. I don't like to be stuck in traffic. I don't like to feel like restrained, like I can't move. Apostle's worse. Apostle cannot stand traffic. I can't believe this traffic. I can't believe traffic. And Apostle's always like, why is there traffic at this time of the day? I'm like, you in New York, sis. There's no way. There's New York. You can get traffic no matter what time of the day. So again, let's move on, right? Right. There are many ways to cross bridges, right? But let me preface this. Everyone, hold on, Prophetess Guy. Hold on, Prophet Loretta. Let me preface this, right? Let me preface this by saying some bridges need to be crossed and not recrossed, right? Some bridges in your life need to be crossed and not recrossed. Don't go back to it. Don't think about going back to it. Don't even try to make a U-turn, because some bridges need to be crossed and not recrossed. Don't do it. Save yourself, right? Don't go back on those bridges, right? So again, how do you cross some bridges? How do some individuals cross bridges, right? You know the saying, individuals sometimes people will say, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. I mean, where are we going? I mean, this is a long a long ride to get there. Well, let's pretend you are at that bridge now. Right, Barbara Reese? Let's pretend that this is the time. You're now at that bridge. You keep saying you'll cross it when you get there. So now we're at that bridge. So now we're going to see how we're going to cross it, right? How will you cross it? What will you do? We're stuck at this bridge. What will you do? So there are many ways that I've noticed people have crossed bridge. And even for myself, I've crossed some bridges, right? Some ways to cross bridge. Sometimes you can cross bridge in anger. That's the first way. You can cross some bridges in anger. In anger. You'll say, I don't care. I will never see you again, or never speak to you again, or never see them again, or never speak to them again. That's a bridge that you're like, but I like to say, never say never, right? Never say never, right? Right? Again, because never is the operative word here. So you got to be careful when you say that never say never. You might see them at an event, at a family gathering, at a church service, and one day you have to run into them. So, Prophet Guy, we can never say, I'll never speak to them again. I'll never see them again. You can say, you know what? I never want to speak to them again. I never want to see them again. Because there's some people I've said many times, I've never want to see them again. I never want to speak to them again. And then sure enough, I'm going to see them. But I don't have to speak to them. And you all know the story, Prophet Cherise, Prophet Patricia. You know the story. You see some people, you come in contact with some people, you're like, oh my God, I don't even want to be in the presence of this person. I don't even want to be in the presence of these people. So I make myself inconspicuous. I just move away. I find a corner. I sit by myself. Thank God for technology today. Back in the days, you had no phone. You better walk with a book. So now I pull up my phone and I can just do work, or just, you know what? I'm minding my business. Or I'll find somebody to call. I ain't call you in like a year, but hey girl, how you doing? Oh yeah. Step outside. Right? Because there's some bridges, right? That you left in anger, that you just don't want to see anymore. You just don't want to speak to anymore, right? Prophet Berta said facts. Prophetess Guy said, never say never. It comes right back to you. That's so true. That's so true. That's why you can't say, I'm never going to speak to that person again. I'm never going to see them again, because you never know. You might see them again, especially if they're family members. Someone's going to die. You're going to have to meet at a funeral. Someone's going to get married. You might have to meet at the wedding. Something's going to happen. Someone's going to be in a hospital. You might meet them up in a hospital, right? Meet them somewhere. Oh God, I'm just getting flashbacks, y'all. And it's just, oh Lord, it's a lot. It's a lot. You just, oh Lord Jesus. Oh man. Um, Mother P was on the phone before I was coming downstairs, and as I was thinking about this, the bridge is crossing the bridge, and the bridge you have to walk across. And she was talking to someone, and she was expressing, and I was just like, oh. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to hear this because I start feeling myself like getting all annoyed in my spirit. So I put my headphones in, I turn on my music, and I turn it loud so I wouldn't hear Mother P's conversation because I was getting so annoyed. I'm like, oh, human beings are something else. They can treat you anyway, they can speak to you anyway, and do whatever. And then when a setting happens, you're meeting them again, and it's like, this is the bridge right here. I'm leaving in anger. I don't want to speak to you. This is a bridge right here. I'm leaving in annoyance. I don't want to speak to you. This is it. This is done. So again, some bridges, right? Some bridges you cross in anger. And you cross them in anger. You cross them in anger because of what happened before you crossed the bridge. What happened when you were on the other side, right? Something must have happened. Something must have happened that was so upsetting, so annoying that you said, "Oh my God, you know what? This is it. This is it. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm crossing this bridge and I'm not coming back." It's the same way when you leave a company. How you leave that company? Were you fired? You don't want to speak to anyone in that company, even a person now you spoke to that that they say was your work best friend or so. I don't even want to speak to them anymore because they should have quit when I got fired, right? Because it became that way. You said, I don't want to. I don't even want to drive down that block that way I used to be employed. It's the same when you leave a church. A pastor hurt you, or someone in the leadership in the ministry hurt you, and you leave that church. I don't ever want to go back to that church. I don't want to speak to anyone in that church anymore. Why? Because how you cross a bridge. You cross that in anger. In anger. And I don't fault you. I don't fault you for that because anger is an emotion. The Bible tells you can be angry, but don't sin. So when people talk about, oh, you're Christian, why are you angry? Read your Bible. I can be angry. So back up, right? Right? So I don't fault you if you cross a bridge in anger. You understand why. You understand how that person made you feel, or that individual made you feel, or that company, that corporation, how you felt in that moment. So you crossed that bridge because it was so painful. There was so much anger. You said, you know what? That's it. I don't ever want to speak to them again. I don't ever want to see them again. And I say that constantly in my life too. If we're having a conversation or I'm in a group of setting with individual and certain name comes up, I thank God for the gifting of the Spirit. This gift is not mentioned in the Bible, but I think it should be this the gift of separation, the gift of just going into your own space, into your own world. Like sometimes when setting and things happen to people are saying something and so on and so forth, and then we get back in the car and Mother P or Apostle, someone in the call say, "Did you hear? They said so and so and so." And I was like, "Who said what? When that happened?" They're like, "Yeah, you were sitting right there." I said, I left. I was physically there, but I left. Right? Because what? Because that's a bridge that I've crossed, and I left in anger. And I said, "Nope, nope, I don't want to go back on that bridge. I don't want to see that bridge. So let me stay over here. So don't deal." And a lot of you may say too, "Yeah, there's some people you're just like, I want to deal with them because." That's okay. I don't get angry at people if they say, I don't want to deal with that person. That's okay. But you got to make sure your heart is right with it. Right? Make sure, because again, you don't want no one to prevent you from going to heaven if you say, right? So you want to make sure your heart is right, because there's some people that the Lord really say, no, leave them. Leave them on that side of the road. Don't even deal with, nope, cross that bridge and leave it. Right? So again, so you can cross some bridges in anger. In anger, right? And then that's one way. And another way you can cross some bridge is amicably. Amicably. You can cross some bridge, Prophetess Guy. We're good. We're good. We left in good. You know what? I think our time together is done. Right? I think our time together is done. I think we had a good run, as they like to say. We had a good run. We were good. I think our time together has come to an end, and we shall go our separate ways. And we mutually agree that, hey, you know what? This relationship, this friendship, it's over. It's good. We had a good time. But you know what? I don't think that our friendship is going to evolve anymore. I think this is it. And in the Christian world, they like to say, oh, that's a seasonal friend. We'll call it whatever you want to call it, right? Amicably, we're ending. This friendship is over. This relationship is over, right? I don't need to call you. I don't need to check up on you. I don't need to send you a text and say how you're doing, because we end amicably. But then with this bridge that you cross it nicely. When I get over to the other side, I see you, I can say, hey, and you say, hey, and that's it. I don't gotta check up on your kids. I don't gotta check up on your spouse. I don't gotta check up on nobody, Sister Glover. Because what? We just said we passed it amicably, we crossed that bridge amicably. So it's hey, it's high and by kind of way, right? And you know what? And I think for a lot of people, I think for a lot of people, that's a hard one to do. That's a hard one to do. That's a hard one to cross that bridge amicably, to say, especially again, we're not neglecting the first way to cross the bridge, you cross it in anger. We're not neglecting that. That's if someone hurt you. But I'm talking about, you know what? You don't feel a connection with that friendship anymore. Or even in a ministry. Even in a ministry, you're about to leave the ministry. You go to your leadership and say, you know what, pastor or apostle or bishop or prophet or whoever it is that your leader is, you know what, I feel like I've outgrown this place. That's understandable. That's understandable. I'm not mad at you when you do that. You feel like you are grown, but make sure that feeling is God leading you, right? Okay, you know what? I think my time here is up. Or even better, you know what? I respect more when someone's moving to a different state. I'm moving to a different state. Can you recommend a church there for me? Or a leadership, a pastor, a fellowship that I can go fellowship with because I'm leaving here. I love this ministry, but I gotta go. What I gotta go for work, I gotta go for my peace of mind. I gotta leave the state. Whatever reason, that's even better. But you know what? You know what? I'm gonna leave. I want to leave. I feel like I need to leave this ministry. Me and sister so and so, we're not doing too good. And every time I see her, every time I step into the sanctuary and see her, there's a rage inside of me. I can't even worship God. Okay, well, you really gotta go. You need to go. You need to go. To keep your salvation, you need to go. Because if you raging every time you see sister so, you can't fellowship with her down here. You gotta go, right? So I understand. But again, it's how it's done. If it's done amicably, hey, you know what? I gotta go. Same if you're leaving a corporation. You know what? I know I've been here for like 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and I think I need to move on to bigger, better, not bigger, better things. Because you're telling the corporation that their thing is horrible. But you know what? But I feel a shifting somewhere else. I feel, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to enhance my own understanding or my knowledge in certain things. So I think I need to shift over to another company or to somewhere else. So thank you so much for the time we're here. What is that? That's amicably. So when it's time and you're moving on and you have to call you have to call your old job for a reference or something. Yes. Oh my God. Yes, of course. This person was amazing. Yeah, I write your reference anytime. When it's time for you to call the next ministry and get a reference to go to the new ministry, this person was a minister here, or they were evangelists here, or they were a prophet here, and so on, so on, so on. So yeah, take that letter to your new church. Perfect. But if you leave in the first one in anger, you can't do that. You can't do that because you left in anger. So again, this one here is also a hard one to do, to leave. We need to give a pastor a microphone over there, right? This one is a hard one to do, to leave amicably, to leave on a good note, right? But so this here, when you leave someplace amicably, it takes a different level of maturity. It really does. It really is. And again, sometimes, Prophet Loretta, we can't find that maturity in it. We go with the first one with the anger, especially how the relationship was, right? So you have to find a way, right, to leave amicably, right? And it takes a level of maturity, but it also helps that the other person hasn't hurt you. So the departure is done smoothly. So if someone doesn't hurt you and you're ready to leave, like I hear a couple say, we got divorced, but we ended amicably. We're still friends. Because we just felt like our time was up. There was no love there, but we still had a good friendship, and we wanted to keep that friendship. So we felt, you know what? Let's just divorce. Now it's time for us to go. And if I see him at an event, I can still say hi. I can still say, hey, what's up? This is my ex. Hey, great people. And so on and so forth, because you're still friends. You ended an amicable situations in an amicable way. But if that person cheat on you, I don't want to see you. You know what I'm saying? That's an anger bridge that I just crossed, right? So again, it all depends on how it ends. And there's some situation that ends horribly, and that person, that bigger person, they left that friendship, that relationship, or whatever, that setting on an amicable way. Like, you know what? I hold no grudge. I have no hatred. I have no anger to them. And I'm like, whoo, you on another level with Jesus. Godspeed be with you. Help me get there. You hurt me? Come on now. Come on now. I'm gonna get to the next one and I'll tell us a little story, right? Right. So it helps when everyone's leaving on a good note. Prophetess guy said, leave in peace that you won't feel guilty. You're right. You're right. Leave in peace that you won't feel guilty. You- because if you leave in anger, you're leaving away. You're sitting there. You're like, oh, you're just so annoyed. And I mean, and again, we're all Christians. We're all believers here. So we gotta put that in perspective as well. If you leave in a way that's hurtful, that's hateful, that's just a lot of malicious. You're sitting. It's hard for you to pray. I mean, if you really have a connection with God, if you have some consciousness left, it's gonna help you to pray for you to say, oh my God, for you to say you love the Lord, for you to really be in tune with God, because all of that is holding up in there. But when you live in peace, as you say, Prophet Guy, amicably, you can lift your hands and say, Jesus, I love you, and you won't feel convicted. You can say, Lord, I thank you that my heart is pure, and you won't feel convicted. So again, how you cross that bridge, is it anger or is it amicably? So we have to be careful with that, right? So if you end it smoothly, you can cross it smoothly. But if the departure ends in pain and hurt, it may take a next way of crossing a bridge, which makes sense for this last way to cross the bridge. This the last way. Again, we can cross it in anger amicably, and the last way you can cross it is by burning it. And I am big on burning. Listen, y'all. If you knew Pastor Marcel like you thought you did, I am big on burn. I'm a burner of bridge, right? Let's of course let me preface this again. No man is an island. Yes, you need your brothers, you need your sisters. Yes, I know that. But when someone hurt you to the core, right? And someone hurt you to the core. When they hurt you, like we like to pray, Lord, touch and healing from the crown of their head to the sole of their feet. When someone hurt you from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet, burn that bridge and don't cross it. Burn that bridge. And you know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about Korah, right? Korah in the Bible, of how they were disobedient and they sinned against God. And what happened? God done burned them all his loins, everyone that even looked like them, smelled like them, touched like them, breathed like them, burn them all. And that's me, right? If your mama hurt me, I don't want to see a mama. I don't want to see a mama. I don't want to see a dada. I don't want to see a kids. I don't want to see a grandkids. I don't want to see a great grandkids, because the whole loin. Because why? Because there's seniority there. They have to be loyal to. They have to be loyal to the mother, to the father. So why would I want to be with you if you're loyal to which you have to be loyal to your family, right? So I don't. Everybody, I'm burning everybody. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see a cousin in them. I don't want to see your auntie in them. I don't want to see. I don't even want to see, as a possible say. I don't want to see the cockroach in your house. I don't want to see the raccoons. I don't want to see nothing, because I want to burn that bridge. I'm with you. I say burn the bridge. Prophetess guy. I am that person. Let me say this. There was when we went out old building, there was one of our leaders there, right? One of our leaders, and they were acting kind of fishy in the beginning. I'm okay, you kind of off, and they you got to watch out for those extra super spiritual person that think they're more spiritual than the apostle, kind of like one of those, right? When the spirit of God is moving, it never touches them, so they always like, it's like one of those past the spirit of God. So they kind of like one of those, God touching you like this. Come on, you better start doing what you got to do. Get your breakthrough, right? One of those. So anyway, so one day all of a sudden they just stopped coming to church. And it's out of nowhere. This person stopped coming to church. This is the leader, by the way. Stop coming to church. Okay, but let me be honest. My spirit never really took him anywhere. I was like, something off about this person. I just can't. And just, Lord, some of those people. Don't be super spiritual. Don't be super spiritual now, Prophets Guy. Some of those people that you fellowship, that you have to be with, or you have to be in especially in a church setting, and you love them with the love of the Lord, but you're like, oh, you still over there, and I'm still over here because, oh Lord, no, right? So it's one of those, right? So they left and haven't seen them, and so one day, myself, Apostle, I think Mother P, and there was someone else in the car. And we were coming, I think we were coming back from dinner, right? So this is when we lived in Brooklyn. So we were driving out Flatbush, and Mother P's like, oh, she need this to cook this, I'll make that tomorrow. And I was like, oh my God, let's stop and get her right now. So we stopped at the Korean store. And I went into the Korean store and I saw that leader, right? It's been probably maybe 3-4 months now. And I never explained why they left, never gave a letter, nothing, just left. So, what you said about so? it was like a year. See, I was giving them more grace. It was like a year after. So I walk into the Korean store, and I'm not gonna call it a sixth sense, but you can always you feel the atmosphere just kind of, I'm walking and I'm like, yeah, like you feel like, yeah, they have to be shipped. And I walk in and I was like, it's kind of strange in here. Oh, that's what I'm saying. I would not get trapped in the supermarket with somebody trying to come in and shoot up, because I'm gonna feel that atmosphere real quick. I'm running for the exit, right? So walking the store, like kind of strange. So I'm like, let me grab what Mother P need, blah, 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 blah. And then I think I'm on the phone. I'm like, yeah, Mother P, blah, 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 blah. So I see the leader, the ex-leader, and I see them, and they look at me. I look, and I guess they were about to smile. I looked up, I put my head back down, grabbed my stuff, and went to the cashier. I cashed out, and I passed them right back and exit. And I went to the car. Went in the car, and I said to Apostle, I said, "Oh, your ex-leader's, your ex-leader's in the store. It's in the store right there, Apostle." She's like, so I told her the name. She's like, oh. And this leader crossed the street. Right, so Pastor cross the street, and I'm telling Pastor, don't wheel out that window. Don't say hi to them. Don't say hi to them. Don't wheel out that window. Don't wheel out that window. So they're waving, and Apostle's waving, and I'm like grim faced, like, you better keep walking. Better keep walking, like I'm gangster. Pastor God, I know you see me gangster before. You better keep walking. Get out of here. Get out of here. She kept walking, and then Mother P. This is why I love Mother P. She always up. She said, where she come from? And Mother P not going off, and Apostle's all like, oh wow, okay, well look at her, yeah, wow, and I'm just like, and Apostle like, and I'm like, no, don't even wave at her, and I'm looking at Apostle, why are you waving at her? What's wrong with you? Don't wave at her. Oh Lord, let me wrap this up, y'all, because it's getting warm. But I'm looking at Apostle, don't wave at her. So what is that? That is a bridge that I have burnt, and I don't want to cross again. I don't, and just to let y'all know. If you want to unfriend me, do it nicely. Do it nicely, because I will see you and I will pass you straight. And people, and the funny thing is, when we were in the building, a lot of leaders already know, and a lot of the saints already know. They're always like, oh Lord, Pastor Marcelle can't, Pastor Marcelle, because you already know, because I let you know where I stand. This is it. This is it. If you burn me, that's it. You don't even got to burn me, because I'm gonna burn your bridge. We're done. Right? Apostle laughing, because Apostle, I know a lot of memories running Apostle brain. She's probably like, oh yes. But there was this one particular individual that left the church, and when they were leaving, they came and they said, Apostle, Pastor, I want to speak with you. So they came, we sat down, and he was like, I want to transfer over to this particular church. There was a girl he saw there, and he kind of fell in love. She's like, I want to go over to this church. And so we like, oh my God, that's great. That's wonderful. You meet the woman, you want to go. Yeah, that's great. She's the one. More power to you. We wrote a letter of transfer, and he's one of those persons. If when we were painting the church, we called him, hey brother so and so. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll come and help. Yeah, great, yeah. My church is not doing anything. Yeah, I can come and help you paint or whatever. So what is that? That's an amicable bridge that was there. He crossed it on a good term. Let me leave on good term. I can get a letter of transfer. If I see him, I can say, hey, how are you, brother so-and-so? You married yet? How your wife doing? He called Mother P the other day. Mother P is like, I hear a woman in the background, right? Woman answered. Yeah, a woman answered the phone call, Mother, because his mom died. So Mother P called to give condolences and so on and so forth. So what is that? That's amicable. But if you burn a bridge, and your family died, and we have this thing in our culture. Oh my God, I move on real quick. We have this thing in our culture, in the Guyanese culture. Even if you stop talking to someone, you burn their bridge, and someone died, you call that family anyway to give your condolences. Whether you like them or not, or spoke to them or not, it's just something that you do. You call them and say, hey, my condolences, I'm praying for you, done. I may come to the funeral, sit in the back, and that's it. I may. Mother P more likely be like, oh my God, I go show my face. That's Mother P. Oh my, so you gotta take me, my God, go show my face. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm gonna drop you and call me when you finish. I can pick it back up, right? But there's some bridges that when you cross it, burn it. I'm telling you, burn it. Right? Because you don't need to cross it back again, right? So again, and some individual, they cross some bridge and they burn it, right? This is when that it's over and done with. Pastor Marcelle, fire and Apostle water. Providence guy, you funny. There's some bridge. Yeah, I tell you, I say apostles is like apostles Moses. She's grace for people and so on and so forth. But I can't. Professor, why do you know this word I like to use? I can't deal with foolishness. I can't deal with foolishness. I don't like nonsense. I don't like Nancy story. I'll deal with foolishness with little kids. Even when you're a teenager, don't bring foolishness. But you're little, okay, because we got to give you grace. We're gonna train. We're gonna grow. But it's a learning process. But you're a teenager, hey, I've been teaching you since you were little, since you were an infant. Come on, you should get something together by now. You're an adult. Worse yet, it's over. Your bridge is burned, right? So that's why Apostle Sam Peter and Paul, I cut your ears off real quick, right? I'll cut the ears and apostle pick it up and try to heal it back again, right? But when you burn this bridge, right? When you burn this bridge, you this is when you know that that it's over and done. I don't want to cross it again. I'm not going to cross it again, right? You know for a fact that you will not go back over that bridge, so you burn it down. And I think in life itself too, you have to really burn some bridges. Some of you, sometimes some people deal with some foolishness. Why are you dealing with foolishness? Why are you going through this? Why are you, Pastor, not my word again? Why are you going through this nonsense? Right? Why are you doing? Why are you doing this foolishness? Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. If someone show you their personality, if someone show you who they are, burn that bridge and move on. If they change, they call you. Okay, that's great. But I already knew you like this, and I already know I gave you 50 million tries. My name is not Jesus. I gave you 50 million tries, and it's come back to the same thing. No, burn that bridge. Burn that bridge. So there's some bridges that you really do need to burn. Move. If you need to move out of the if you need to move out of the state, move out, move on, move and leave that bridge. You need to move out of the country, move and leave that bridge. Why do you think sometimes when someone goes through a divorce or a breakup, what do? They pack up and they move. And the friends be like, "What, girl? Why you moving? I just gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out. I gotta get out of this state. I gotta get out of this country. I gotta get out of this neighborhood. I gotta get away from this." What is that? They burned that bridge. They burned that bridge. And they said, "When you come in to visit, I don't think I ever come back. I don't think I'll ever come back." And what to bring them back when there's a death or so on and so forth. I've heard of so many stories of individuals that I never want to see that person again. I never want to speak to that person again. And it's true. And you're like, when last I spoke to that person? I don't know. I don't care about them. I don't speak to them no more. Done. When you hear I say I'm done, I'm done. I'm done. That's burnt. That's done. Right. So again, sometimes you cross bridge in anger. You can cross it amicably, or you can burn it. So let's move on. So right. Know that in the end, when you cross the bridge, however you do it, you should try and move on and let it go. Right, Prophet Sharice? However you cross the bridge, whether it was in anger, whether it was amicably, whether you burn it, try to move on and let it go. Let it go. Try. Right? Let it go, let it go. Drop them like a hot bread. Prophetess God, ain't that the truth? Drop them like a dumpling, right? Drop them like a hot bread. Listen, listen, listen here. Listen here. One time we were in a setting, right? In a setting. Apostles try not to laugh over there. We went in a setting, and people that I don't deal with came into this setting, and I'm sitting there, and I can still sit in a place where I don't deal with people, and you won't feel like an anger or whatever. Just like apostle, no apostle be like, "Oh boy, there she goes. She don't want to be bothered. Like she's done. She's done. She's done." And I'm not gonna be faking, be like, "Oh my God, no, hi," and that's it. So in the setting, and the people that I don't deal with, they came in and so on and so forth. And I was just hi to everybody, whatever. Grab my little food, whatever, sat down. And then afterwards, I was like, And then one of the person came and sat next to me. Like, why you gonna sit here? Why are you gonna sit here? Why you know me, you don't deal. We don't do like that. I pull out my phone, and Apostle was sitting on this side. And Apostle's Moses, so she's talking to the other, or the other person is talking to her, so she's responding. But I don't want to have a conversation with you. So I pick up my phone, and the person's right there, and I'm just like this. And they're like literally like we're like touching, and I'm like, nope. And they're like, "Oh, how are you?" I said, "I'm good." Nope. I don't even know. I don't even know if Apostle knew, if I knew, if the person knew. But I don't even know how and when I got up. And I found a corner And I sat in my corner and I was there on my phone and I was throwing back. And all I'm saying is, Lord, hurry up so we can get out of here, so we can leave. I got to go. Because if I sit here for 5 more minutes, I'm going to start. I don't know. I don't know. I might just turn Jesus in the temple and just start. And then everyone in the house would think I'm crazy. Be like, I told you. And they be like, I told you, Bertha Paula's daughter's crazy. I knew something was wrong with her, right? So, but I can't do that. You go in a place where the bridges burn, but you gotta sit amicably, right? But the anger inside of you is rolling, right? You like how I put that, right? You like how I put that? You go where the bridges burn, but you sit amicably, but the anger is burning inside. So I sat there and everyone is in their section and they're talking and whatnot. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Apostle Moses, Pastor Marcelle Retz. Promise Loretta, you're funny. It just might be. So anyway, so the end of the story, I stayed in my corner and someone else came and sat down. I don't really have more dealing with this person. I don't know them. So I was able to talk to them. So we're chatting and so on. And I was like, thank God it was time to go. So we left. And then when I left, I was like, oh my God. But I was like, oh my God, thank God. But that was a circumstance beyond our control that I had to be in. But in things like that, right? I said, I try to. Oh, but I forget when we was in the car. Oh, Apostle had to hear it, and I'm like, I can't believe it took so long for us to leave. You have to do this. Waiting on you. Come on, and then Mother P's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, and you too. I'm mad at everybody. I'm yelling at everybody in the car, and you too. You over there laughing. Nobody laughing with them. I'm the worst kind of person, right? I'm the worst kind of person. But anyway, so while I was preparing this today, right, I'd be like, Lord, you just really be trying to like, show me out, right? So while I was preparing this today, and I stood up and I'm walking and I'm like, but Lord, I love you. I love you, Lord, and I thank you. I thank you that you help my heart, and that's what we have to be. Again, like I said, you got to make sure, however you cross that bridge, try to get it out your spirit. Try to be able to move on. Because you don't want to hold on to that. Because again, you don't want them to prevent you from being with the Lord or meeting with the Lord or so on and so forth. So let me leave you with this. Let me leave you with this scripture, right? Isaiah 43:18 in the God Word translation. It says this. Prophet Cherie said, I get up and find me another seat, period. Yeah, no, I can sit, I can sit there. I can sit there amicably with that burned bridge. And after a while, the Holy Spirit, God knows how long I can handle. So the Lord, I'm telling you, the Lord must really sell Gabriel and Michael or Angel to pick me up and put me where I need to go because sometimes I don't even know how I move, right? So let me leave it this. Isaiah 43:18, God word said, forget what happened in the past and do not dwell on events from long ago. We know this as forget the former things, remember not the former things. We know the King James version, and we know this is the Lord speaking, and he's declaring, great things are going to happen. But I want this to apply to us today, as in crossing bridges. Forget what happened in the past. However you cross the bridge with the anger, with amicably, or how you burn it. Forget what happened in the past, and do not dwell on the events from long ago. Move on. Let it go. Let it go. Cross that bridge and let it go. Whether you burn it, whether it's amicable, whether it's anger, cross that bridge and let it go. Because at the end of the day, you don't want anyone to prevent you from meeting Jesus. You don't want anyone to have you sitting there in rage and in malice and hatred. And what happened then? All of a sudden, all that growing to cancer, you get pressure, all these things happen because you cross the bridge, but you're still holding on, right? Right? So wait, I know they hurt you. I know they lied on you. I know the pain was hard, but I think it's time for you to cross that bridge. Yeah, it hurt. It still hurts. It still hurts. But it's time for you to cross that bridge. It's time for you to cross that bridge. Mother P was telling someone today, she was saying, after all I did for them, they did me like that. And when that's what Mother P said that. I don't know, when your family member or your parents is in pain, like you feel the pain. And when Mother P said that, I was like, oh, I felt like my heart was like, I felt, like it's like, oh, like it was squeezing. So I had to put my headphone. I said, no, I can't listen to this because this is it's gonna take me in a state that I don't need to be. Nope. So I put my headphones on, turn on my music, and I was like, Lord, just touch her, just touch her heart, just heal her heart. All right. But again, I know they hurt you. I know they lied on you. I know the pain was hard. But I think it's time for you to try to cross that bridge. Cross that bridge, right? However you cross it, anger amicably or you burn it, just cross it. Just cross it. Get over to the other side. Cross it and try to let it go. Try. Because as all the stories I just shared, I'm not frozen, right? I'm not let it go, right? Especially if I burn it. I'm gonna see you again, be like, oh, you better back away from me, right? So cross that bridge, right? So cross the bridge, right? Well, I hope I said something that made sense. Prophet Red, I probably want to say, just forget it and go on with your life. Yeah. Yeah, but again, Professor, sometimes it's easier said than done. It's hard to forget, hard to go on. But you got to try your best, right? Try your best. Try your best. Get them out your spirit. Get them out your heart. Get them out the soul and try. Cross that bridge, right? Lord, I thank you for your people. I thank you for keeping them. I thank you for blessing them. Thank you for your hand resting on them, Lord. I think as they cross the bridge, whether they cross it in anger amicably or they burn it down, that you will give them the strength to get to the other side, God, and that they will be able to move on and release themselves from it. Continue to touch your people. Be with them. In Jesus' name, amen. Guys, we're going to be on the prayer line tonight at 8:05, and I'll see you here again next week at 3:45 p.m. Air for Best Love Hope. Thank you. I love you all. Cross that bridge. Mwah. Bye now.